Today we have the Kia Niro EV. It's the green, clean efficiency that you want, but in a practical and more affordable body here. In this video, I'm going to give you a full look at the outside details, check out the cargo area, the interior, all the features in there, and then we're going to go for a test drive and see what we think. And at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you whether I would go with this pure EV model or the plug-in hybrid model Niro. Let's get started. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in for this Niro EV. Now this is going to be only over the EV model, not the regular or the plug-in hybrid. And there are two trims for this Niro EV, the EX and EX Premium. Same body styles, but there are definitely some differences over the regular models. Now right up front, you're going to see this closed off grille. They kept the same kind of tiger nose, dog bone looking grille right here, and the actual plug is right inside of there, the AC and DC, and we'll go through that in a little bit. You've got some really unique blue accents. This kind of lower bumper goes with this closed off grille, and those blue accents, those are specific to this EV trim. In that lower air intake is the sensor, because we do have the safety systems like the cruise control, the automatic braking. And Kia's got this really long LED turn signal, looks kind of cool. Then you've got LED headlights on this trim. I believe it's HID on the non-EV models, and then you'll get halogen bulbs on the regular EX, unlike this EX Premium. And then down here, they call this an arrowhead LED daytime running light. I believe the new 2020 non-EV model gets two of those. They look kind of cool, a unique daytime running light for sure with that blue accent, and then halogen fog lights on this and the regular EX trim. And within that housing is an actual air vent to where it does go through to that tire. So definitely an aerodynamic front end, which is exactly what you need on a vehicle like this. Now I do have a night video of this Niro EV where I take it for a drive, show you what it looks like at night, all the backlit interior buttons as well, so be sure to check that out. This color is the Gravity Blue. It's definitely really dark. I think it looks just fine with this, especially with those kind of light blue accents there. Definitely a conservative color. Now every Niro is going to give you, or every Niro EV is going to give you the specially designed 17-inch wheels. They're designed for aerodynamics, as you would guess. So no large wheels, no fancy wheels on here. That's for both the EX and the EX Premium. A little bit to my surprise though is that you do actually have some wheel arches that do stick out a little bit from the body. Kia actually said they kind of wanted to give this a little tiny bit of a rugged look, like its SUV roots, as they say, and some cladding on the bottom and on the door trim there as well. You'll see that the mirror is body color. It has LED turn signals. Those door handles are also body color. You've got a little chrome trim up above the windows, and you can actually get roof rails with crossbars on this EV as well. Now dimensionally, this is 172 inches long, which definitely is on the shorter side, whereas you look at the Kona EV, that is even smaller at 165 inches. So compared to like the Kia Sportage, that is going to be bigger, but this will be bigger than the Kia Soul. That size makes it very manageable in certain conditions and parking and whatnot, but it is still fairly spacious on the interior. Now as we come around to the back, you get some of the same pieces here. We've got this little roof spoiler right there to help with the aerodynamics. You've got that shark fin antenna. We have combination LED taillights. You can see the LED rings around there, ring around the entire housing, and then this incandescent turn signal. These do look pretty unique at night. It really stands out. Definitely unique and different compared to many other taillights. There are also a little bit of those blue trim pieces back here, as you can see on both sides. And of course, we don't even need an exhaust outlet on this EV. Now let's go ahead and check out the cargo area. Now here's one area where the Niro is quite practical. So you don't have a power gate, which doesn't bother me at all. You don't really need any effort to lift it. But back here, you'll get about 18.5 cubic feet. Not bad at all, but certainly not great. But then when you fold the seats down, you'll get about 53 cubic feet. Now back here, this is a decent area. As you can see, I've got all my crap back here, and this all fits just fine. You can pile up a decent amount of stuff. Each side or each corner gets a metal tie down like that. And that side's got a light. I just would like to see maybe a 12-volt power outlet or even a regular 3-prong 120-volt outlet, considering it's an EV. Now in order to fold those seats down, you've got to go to the back seat, or from here, you can reach ahead and do it with that little lever on each side. It's a 40-60 split, and once you get it down, it is fairly flat and really opens up this cargo space. Underneath of this cargo floor, you've got kind of a two-level area. One area I like to put my charging cable, and below that you've got a tire inflator kit, but no spare tire because that would add some weight. Now as we take a look at the front seats, one nice thing about the Niro is that it's not as low as a car, but it's not as high as a big SUV. It's kind of right in the middle, crossover, tall wagon range, so it's really easy to get in if you have mobility issues. On the base EX for this Niro EV, you'll get cloth 6-way manual seats, but on our EX premium seats, you'll get leather 10-way power seats with 2-way lumbar. They're heated, ventilated, and this EV has specific blue highlight seat upholstery. Overall, these seats have been comfortable. I did a pretty decent trip. I went over to south of Fort Worth from here, and it took a little over an hour, and I was comfortable that whole time. At 5'9", I've got the seat not quite at the bottom, a little bit up, but I've still got good headroom. I believe if you're over 6 foot, you should be able to fit in here okay. And another nice thing is by my knee, it's wide open. So those of you that bang your knee up into the center console, not too much of an issue here. Another bonus is we've got a leather steering wheel standard on both trims, but our premium has a heated steering wheel, which is always nice. It is manual, tilt, and telescoping, and I've been able to get it where I want it. It's got a real generous range of motion. The Niro EV is push button start, and the cool thing is that you've got the smart key, and when you unlock the vehicle, you actually get some illumination on the outside door handle. Now the interior of the Niro is nothing fancy at all, but it is still functional. It definitely looks more like some other older Kias, not as modern as like the new Telluride. Now with a quick look through the interior, this whole upper panel of the door is semi-soft, not cushioned, but not a hard plastic. You've got a soft but somewhat small armrest, and you've got that blue stitching that you kind of see on the front of the vehicle, which is neat. Got one-touch front windows, and then my bottle even fits down there with a little bit of storage. Now right to the left of the steering wheel, you can change your interior brightness, your blind spot monitor, your lane keep assist, traction control, and then below that you've got charging options to automatically lock or turn off your time charging. The steering wheel is more of the older design with kind of these plastic little toggles right here, but it's still easy to use, and you kind of have this little gloss black here, but it's kind of neat how you have this blue stitching on the inside to mirror your armrest and the outside. You won't find rain sensing wipers on that stock, but you will find these paddle shifters here that you can use for regenerative braking, and I'll go through that in the test drive. This Niro and the EX Niro will give you the 7-inch screen right here, but you kind of have a digital display to the left as well where it shows you your range. Using your steering wheel, you can scroll through a lot of information, and it is helpful to see some of this when you are driving. So over 210 miles before I started filming and just kind of let the vehicle sit, I was getting about 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour. So you can multiply that by how many kilowatt hours the battery is and figure out what your range might be. You can also see your compass. You've got your lane keeping system, radar cruise that'll show up on there, tire pressure once you are moving. And then you can customize quite a bit right here, which it's really easy to do, like your door locks, your lights, any of your driver assistance features, all pretty easy to use. And then as we move over to the infotainment system here, on the base model you'll get a 7-inch, but we've got this 8-inch touchscreen here. Even if you do have the base EX, you'll still get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and a 6-speaker system. Kia's system here is easy to use. This is kind of the home screen, and you got your map over here. You can change what you see over there. It's kind of cool how you have an actual EV button right there to where you can look at, you can change your departure time or your charging times. You can see quite a bit of information. In fact, when you're driving, you can see where a near charging station is. Like for example, this is telling me Rockwall Ford, 3.5 miles away, or some independent places as well. Everything is fairly simple. It's not the most modern screen, not the most zippy screen, but you go to these menus and you can change through different settings. And I'll show you more of this in the night review, just to show you kind of what this looks like. One bonus to our 8-inch screen on this premium is that we get the Harman Kardon system, which does sound pretty decent. It's certainly not great, but it's not bad at all, and I've enjoyed it. Another nice thing is you've got all these physical buttons. I love having a touchscreen and still options for physical buttons. You can make this star a custom button to go wherever you want it, and then you can access your EV screen just by pressing right here as well. Now right below here you've got single zone automatic climate control. There's no dual zone, but it's really not that big of a cabin, but I would kind of still expect dual zone in here, especially at this price point. But one cool thing to save energy, let's say your AC system uses some of your energy and you want to help save that, you can hit driver only and it's going to not use the other vents, which is going to cool you off or heat you so you're not wasting air throughout the cabin. That right there is optional on the EX, but standard here it is wireless charging. You've got one plug right there for a USB, it is backlit, 12 volt, and another backlit USB charging port right there. And one neat feature below all that is this kind of little storage area, and it's got a rubber mat on the bottom. It's actually good size just to chuck some stuff down there. I've enjoyed that. Now this is where things look a little bit more interesting. This is our shifter. It's just a dial, shift by wire. Park right there. You can turn it to the left, turn it to the right. And let's go ahead and check out the backup camera. We don't have a 360 camera, but you've got a decent dynamic line backup camera. This also houses our heated and ventilated seat controls, brake hold, electronic parking brake, your drive modes that you can toggle through, and we'll go through that in the test drive. Parking sensors for front and back on this premium trim, heated steering wheel on this premium trim as well. And then similar to that Hyundai Palisade I just reviewed, we kind of have this unique style of cup holders here where you can completely move it out of the way. You've kind of got little independent storage areas. You can push that to pop it back out. And if you don't want anything there, you can just cover it up or hide things with this. Center armrest is not the largest and it's not the softest. It's actually kind of hard, but it's got a soft material with this blue stitching, just no actual padding. You open that up, you've got a USB charging port, and it's kind of a small area with no lighting. That mirror is automatic dimming with garage controls on this premium trim. Up above, you'll always get a sunglass holder here, and we've got LED interior lights for the front and the back on this premium trim as well. Another thing the premium trim will give you is this standard size moonroof. And then another thing that you'll get that I'll show you in the night video is you get mood lighting on this premium trim that can kind of change lights around the center console, and it's pretty neat. Now the back seat of the Niro is still a decent place to be despite this being a really short vehicle. You've still got some blue stitching on the seats and kind of a neat pattern. One bummer with the door though, you kind of expect it in this class, is the upper is really hard, but that can maybe be good with kids. You still get a soft armrest and a deep bottle holder. Now sitting behind myself, I've got pretty good knee space. I have the seat fairly low to the floor for where I like to sit, and there's really no accessible foot space, but really not that bad at all. AC vents are standard here and the regular EX trim. You just won't find any charging ports there, but there is that one USB inside of there. It'd be nice to see a 12 volt power outlet or a regular USB back here. There is a nice soft center folding armrest with a couple small fixed cup holders. And headroom really isn't too bad, as you can see. I can sit up tall. Thanks to this kind of taller body style, I can sit here without any trouble. Now because this is an EV, we don't have an actual gas engine, but there is still some hardware up under the hood, and I'll let you take a peek at that. But the biggest thing with this EV is that we've got a 64 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery under the floor of the vehicle that helps with its center of gravity. With our electric motor, we can produce 201 horsepower, 291 pound-feet of torque, which really isn't that bad, and 239 miles of pure electric range. That's really not too bad. Now charging is through this door right here. You can just pop this open and there's a couple of flaps and a little light down there. And this takes CSS charging and can now actually take 100 kilowatt charging. There's a few different options. There's the DC fast charging, which uses both of those inlets. We can give you 100 miles in 30 minutes or 80% of a charge in 75 minutes. So there's also level 2, 240 volt, which you can actually have in your house or in your garage that can charge it all the way in about 9.5 hours. And that is the way that I would go. If you DC fast charge all the time, Kia even says, and with any battery, it can deteriorate that battery over time and basically help you lose performance. And then the plug that comes with the vehicle is the level 1 that you saw in the back. That just plugs into a 120 volt outlet, just a standard outlet in the house or standard outlet in the garage, and it takes forever to charge, and it's pretty much worthless unless your vehicle is going to be sitting for several hours at a time. Well, let's go ahead and take this out on the road, and we're going to go through the drive modes, the Sport, the Eco, the Eco Plus, and even normal. Let's get started. All right, y'all, we are on the test drive for the Kia Niro EV, and I apologize, it's been like sprinkly, drizzly, rainy the whole time I've had this vehicle except for like the first day. So I got the wipers going. Hopefully it's not distracting. But starting out, there are a few different drive modes. There's Eco, Normal, Sport, and Eco Plus. I got it in Eco right away, and you can customize on your main screen how aggressive your regenerative brakes are for each mode. I have them turned all the way up for Eco and low for normal mode. So what that means is basically as soon as you let off the accelerator, it's regenerative braking for you. So your brakes will pretty much be on if you're not accelerating, and that's going to help capture the kinetic energy. We'll put it in sport mode and I'll tell you about acceleration later. But the pickup on this vehicle is actually quite good. I really have no complaints with it whatsoever. And the thing about electric vehicles is you get the torque instantly. So as soon as you get on it, it just goes. Now I let off the gas. It is braking on its own, regeneratively, capturing energy, which is good, which is what you want. It's not like you're wearing through your brake pads. It's the regenerative brake portion is capturing the energy. So it's pretty neat how it does that, just like hybrids do as well. Now, as far as the steering goes, it's right on par to what you'd expect. It doesn't leave you guessing and feeling uncomfortable with where your vehicle's going. I took this on the highway. It was not hard at all to keep it in its lane. There was even some crosswind, and it really didn't bother me at all. It's not sporty by any means, of course. It's not supposed to. It's perfect. I mean, it's not a heavy steering wheel. It's not a light steering wheel. It's about right in the middle, but it's still easy to park and easy to maneuver. The handling is going to be fairly decent as well because of the battery is real heavy. I believe it's over 1,000 pounds is at the base of the vehicle, or on the lower part of the vehicle. So that helps lower your center of gravity. We also have an independent suspension in the back, which is great. Now I'm going to change the drive mode to Eco Plus, and Eco Plus does not let you go over 60 miles an hour, which is interesting. It's kind of like if you had your Eco mode set to the level 2 regenerative braking, which is probably smarter, and then Eco Plus could be max regenerative braking. So you can customize how you want that, but Eco Plus is if you want to conserve as much as possible, prevent as much battery waste as possible as well. In fact, when I put it in Eco Plus, it just gave me like 3 or 4 extra miles of range, you know, calculated anyways. Now I just put it in normal. So I have minimum regenerative braking going on normal, but you can control the regenerative brakes with these paddles. So left paddle adds regenerative braking, right paddle takes away. And you certainly do not have to use those paddles. Some people in my Mitsubishi video, I made it seem like maybe you had to use them, but you don't have to use them at all. You don't have to touch them ever if you don't want. But if you want to control your braking, like right now, I'm not braking. I'm just using the paddles, level 2, level 3, and it's gonna slow me down before I even get to the stop sign. So the time that can be useful is when you're at like you're coming up on a stoplight or a stop sign, and you want to coast in instead of going fast and then brake hard. That would be a good time for that. Now I just put it in sport mode. Things turn red, pedal down, and it's pretty quick. I mean, it's not a burner, it's not fast, but if you need to merge onto the highway, there's no problems with that. And we're going fairly quick. I just put it up to the top regenerative braking notch, and it's slowing me down a little bit, but of course I got to use my brakes somewhat too. Now I'm keeping it in eco mode the rest of the time. One thing that I want to mention is I'm not on the rough surface road that I do some of my road noise testing, but on the interstate at high speeds, probably because this is an aerodynamic vehicle for the most part, wind noise is good. There's no laminated glass here, but this windshield has an acoustic lamination in it. But road noise on the interstate was not bad at all. Once you get on a rougher textured road, you do start to get some road noise, which can be a little bit annoying, but really for this class of a vehicle, it's not bad, but for this price of a vehicle, it's a little more than I was hoping. But it's certainly not bad at all. It's not the loudest I've heard. It's more than manageable. Now this does have Kia DriveWise. We've got pretty much all these safety features. You've got the front braking, you've got blind spot monitor in the mirror, you've got your lane keeping system, you've got the smart cruise control. So all of that works really well. I've had zero complaints with it either. In terms of day-to-day driving and living with this, like I said in the beginning, it's practical. There's nothing complicated about it. It's kind of unique with this center console layout, but you've still got wireless charging / storage bin. You've got a big storage bin there. You've got some nice sized cup holders that you can even move out of the way to have big storage. Cup holders in the door are good. Everything is within reach and easy to use. You've got physical buttons. The steering wheel's heated, your seats are heated and ventilated. You've got automatic dimming rearview mirror, a sunroof. You've got the creature comforts. And sometimes you can sacrifice efficiency for things like that, but you've got both. And with my about 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour that I was averaging, that equated to about 250 miles of range. So that's better than the 239 that it forecasted. But that all depends on your driving style, of course. Well, I hope you guys learned something with this test drive of the Niro. It's definitely quick enough. It handles just fine. It's relatively spacious in here as well. It's certainly not bad considering the dimensions of the vehicle, and very easy to live with. Let's go ahead and close things up. Okay, so to wrap things up on this Kia Niro EV, it's a comfortable vehicle, it's a practical vehicle, you've got a lot of nice creature comforts in there, and at this price for an EV and the functionality that you got, it's a pretty good deal. Now, one of the big things that you should know when you get an EV, or especially like this EV, make sure that you can get a level 2 charger or a 240 volt outlet in your house. Because if you use a level 1 charger, it takes forever, or if you go to the charging stations, it can be quite expensive. I went to Electrify America from Walmart, and it was about 58 cents a minute, and it takes a while. So would I take this EV or would I go with a plug-in hybrid? Well, the fact that I've only driven 2 EVs my entire life, and I've only driven 1 plug-in hybrid my entire life, I don't have a ton of experience with them, but with EV, you are stuck with only electric range. With a plug-in hybrid, you have a limited amount of electric range, and then you use your gas engine. For my driving, I do quite a bit where I go longer distances, some across the country, and a gas engine would be really convenient for me. But I would love the simplicity of a plug-in hybrid and the ability to drive around town or go certain distances on pure electric. And you can even overcharge overnight and continue to use just electric. So if you're not going to have to do long distances and deal with the convenience of charging this on a long trip, this might be great for you. You can buzz around town, come home, plug in, and you'll be all good to go. But if you are going to go long distances where you might need some gas just to be safe, a plug-in hybrid is still a great option. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this Kia Niro EV video. Leave your comments down below. Be sure to check out some of these other videos, including a night video of this, and have a great rest of your day.